I want to talk about WrestleMania 12. Kind of ironic, given the way WWE is now and the way everything's shaken out, that he squashes Triple H very quickly. And Triple H at the time was coming up, and you guys were trying to push a little bit, and he had some pay-per-view matches, had some wins under his belt, and later in that year would win the Intercontinental title and really started to pick up steam. The next year would win King of the Ring. There was talk that he was going to win King of the Ring in 96. The curtain call changed all that. So there were big plans for him, but no problem squashing him to the Warrior. Whose idea was that?
No, there's a big problem squashing. See, you say no problem squashing.
Well, you just glanced over it, so I just assumed it was no problem.
No, it wasn't no problem. The match was designed completely differently, and Warrior changed it.
Okay, who was the agent on the match?
Doesn't matter who the agent of the match was. The match was designed differently. They were laid out to them. Warrior changed it, and changed it right before they went out. Hunter, being a pro and knowing we're WrestleMania, I got to go out, I got to go do this, and not really wanting to make waves on the biggest show of the year, knowing what we had planned for Warrior, did it, and came back, and Warrior was like, I changed it. But no, it was never laid out that way. It was never, ever intended to be a squash in any way, shape, or form.
What was it supposed to be?
It's supposed to be a match.
How many minutes?
Warrior over. I think they had 12 minutes.
But still the same press, slam, splash finish?
The finish, yeah.
But just not shoulder tackle,
right.
clothesline.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a minute ago I asked who the agent was, and you said it doesn't matter. Why would you say that?
Because it doesn't matter. The agent was as blind as everybody else.
Okay, so neither guy smartened anybody up.
They didn't have time to, and I do believe Hunter did smarten the agent up, but it was right before, and it was like,
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
We're there. And I didn't have communication with the referee, and we did now, and it was just something that happened and took place. And it was unfortunate.
Any heat on Triple H at the time, or did everybody understand he was in a bad spot?
Triple H was in a horrible spot, and he did what he did, and I would argue that it was the right move because it's WrestleMania, it was what it was, and it sucked. But Triple H did what he had to do, and there was long, many discussions and stuff with Warrior after that night and afterwards. We don't do that here. Things have changed, and you can't go into business for yourself. So then you fast forward, and the comic book situation comes up and other things, and Warrior made a lot of demands that were unreasonable and didn't show up for live events, wouldn't return phone calls, didn't answer phone calls, just fell off the grid completely, and then claimed that he was upset because his father had passed, but up until that point, always talked about how he never had a relationship with his father and didn't particularly care for him. So it was a lot of contradictory messages coming from the Warrior, and it was just demands that were not going to be met, that were unreasonable, and
it's crazy
parted ways.
When you look at his opponents in 1996 at WrestleMania, it's Triple H. Right after that, it's Goldust. Not too long after that, it's Isaac Yankem, who went on to be Kane. Then it's Jerry Lawler. Then it's Owen Hart. Real legends in the business. You guys were giving him real talent to work with. I can't make it work.